What is up, everybody? Welcome. Today's January 13th. Dr. Vong here. I'm going to talk about how do you protect your money against this inflation. Will this next stimulus bill help you or hurt you? Sorry, we're getting started a little late. I had some technical difficulties with my Wi-Fi, but if you're watching this on the replay, you can fast forward to the 5-minute mark. That's about when I'll get started. I'll give you a little update. Let's get some comments in here. Where are you guys watching from? No, sorry, I had Wi-Fi problems, everybody. So do me a favor and hit share button for me. Get some people in here. Where are you guys watching from? We're going to talk about your money. Let me give you a quick review of what's happened. Today's January 13th. In case you haven't heard, the U.S. House of Representatives has voted to impeach President Trump. That will go up to the Senate. Which Mitch McConnell said he won't take up until January 19th, which is the day before the Biden administration takes over. And Biden has said that one of his major first things he wants to do is to pass the stimulus check. So we're going to talk tonight about what will the stimulus bill do to your current dollars and what you can do to protect yourself. $2,000 sounds nice, right? Amen. Can I have an amen? Who could use an extra $2,000, man? Times are tough. But there you go. People are already seeing things coming up. Like Catherine Cannell says, gas is $3.55 in the Bay Area already. Sandy is British Columbia, Canada. Rosemary is in San Diego. Sarasota Springs is in the house. Got a lot of amens coming. Phoenix working. There you go. Amen, amen. Maryland's in the house. So Mark Scheinfeld's already thinking about his 2,000. You gonna spend it? All right. So Matt's watching from Canada. In case you missed it, we had a record number of deaths in the United States yesterday. 4,400 cases. I'm sorry, 4,100 deaths a couple of days ago, and it's gonna get worse. We are in the middle of our Christmas surge. These numbers will keep going up. Expect tomorrow, Friday, Saturday numbers to be really bad. Probably breaking 300,000. We broke 300,000 this last weekend, but we're going to be consistently over 300,000 here moving forward. Then we have to hang on tight because we're not done yet. We'll have a surge on top of surge on top of a surge. So we're going to have the New Year surge after that. And I'm going to warn you right now, I know people are excited about the vaccines coming out, which we should be because of the science behind that. But my warning to you is, as you can tell, there are already being delays in rolling out. And remember, most of these vaccines, the Moderna, Pfizer, the Oxford, Zeneca, they're all 2-dose vaccines that are roughly a month apart, 28 days in one case, 21 days in Pfizer's case. And the Oxford is still looking over its phase 3 trials and will probably come up for in front of the FDA here in February. And that process takes a few weeks. So now, you're looking at probably mid to late February for the AstraZeneca vaccination. The J&J is currently the only one that I'm aware of, the single dose vaccine. But remember, you also have to give your body time to kick in the antibodies, right? It's not like a movie, guys. You know how it happens in movies? Like the zombies are attacking, their heroine is starting to change into a zombie, and they get the antidote right away. They inject it, and suddenly, like, she turns back human again. And then you open the front door, the sun is coming out, and everybody's coming out from outside their houses, and everybody's like normal again. It doesn't work that way, guys. Just because you've had your vaccination, you're not bulletproof. You are not Superman or Wonder Woman. You are not yet protected. We are in this for several months. But the other thing I want to warn you guys about is this. Remember, how long did it take us this summer from July, towards the end of July, when we hit 70,000 cases? How long did it take us to get back down before we reopened schools and went through this fall surge? We got down to 40,000, and it took us all the way to October, September, when we were starting to go back to schools. And then we saw this steady incline. So to go from 70 to 40,000 took 2 months. So to go from 300,000 all the way back down to something manageable, like God forbid, like 30, 20,000, It's going to take most of 2021, and a lot can change during that time. So we have to be really, really careful about, wearing masks, social distancing. Yes, get your vaccination. If it's your choice, it's your fucking choice. Seriously, I can't make you do it. You're a grown ass person, but we have to start thinking about this on much longer prospect. And what's that going to do to our economy, our market forces? And some people are wondering what the heck am I doing talking about money? It's because I believe that money and obesity are tied in together, just like obesity and this coronavirus is tied in together. You're at much larger risk for problems if you're obese with coronavirus, and I promise you that obesity is a money issue. So if you're new to me, you're probably wondering why am I talking about money, but my followers know I talk about money all the time. And I'm happy tonight to bring on one of my really good friends and America's #1 money mentor. And tonight we're going to do something special. We're going to walk through the numbers as I set up my very own infinite banking system, where we want to bring you exceptional value, show you what you can do in order to protect yourself from the inflation that's about to come. So with that, give it up for my man, Mr. Chris Naugle.
Excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Man, sorry about the little Wi-Fi problem we were having there.
That's all right. We got to get some laughs out about that early on.
I know. I was like sitting there panicking. But so just recap, can you give some people your credentials? You're a former pro snowboarder, had a series of stores, skateboard stores, snowboard stores, a clothing line, and then you went into Wall Street. Can you wrap that up?
Yeah, I mean, just put it in a little bow. I grew up in a very lower middle class family, raised by my mom, and dad was an alcoholic, and so he wasn't really in the picture. But I always dreamed big. I wanted to be a pro snowboarder. So at 16, started my first company in mom's basement. 17, got the dream of opening a shop. Did that by 17, almost 18. Opened my first store. Went on to be a pro snowboarder. Entered really got into Wall Street because of the early recession in the 2000s. When the planes hit, I had to get a job. So I landed in Wall Street of all places, and I rose to the top, became one of the top advisors. And after the 2008 crash, I started doing a lot of real estate and bought a lot of real estate from that point till now, 263 flips. I got the name.
263 flips.
Yeah, I'm lucky I have hair left. That was so
wow.
Yep,
I know you did. You've done like north of $50 million worth of real estate deals, but 263.
I bet you it's even more than that. I don't even count anymore. I just don't. Money managed. I've managed, I think, almost 100 million in assets now.
So 100 million in assets. Wow.
Yeah, it says 30 in my bio.
For the people watching who says, I've got a money man, I've got a financial advisor, that was you in your past life, right?
It was. I was a very high level financial advisor, did a lot of things, helped a lot of people. At one point had over 700 clients, but I retired as a financial advisor in 2018 when me and my wife got a TV show on HGTV. Yeah. Decide, was it going to be on TV or is there going to be a financial advisor? So I sold my practice, retired, and it was the greatest thing I ever did, because at that point I took the rosy colored glasses off and I started learning. Well, I'd already kind of been learning, but saw the truth behind how money works. And it wasn't what I did as an advisor. It was the total opposite. And that's what I do today. Not a self-proclaimed, but somebody else said I'm America's #1 money mentor. I just went with it. And that's what I do. My mission.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's perfect for what I do.
We're going to talk about BYOB, but your hat, BYOB, what does that stand for?
It doesn't mean bring your own beer. It stands for become your own bank. That's what it means. Become
your own bank. So we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about what's going to hurt our viewers tonight. Like the stimulus.
Where do I start?
Well, we had the one. What was the first one? 1 trillion, right?
Yeah.
And in 2008, when the market crashed, we were aghast when they released a $800 billion.
8 or 900 billion. And it was like, oh my God, our kids,
so much money.
Yeah, our kids are going to be paying that back.
And then they ended up bailing out most of the big banks, the auto dealer, like us little guys never got any of that.
None.
This time they tried to do a blend, PPP, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they did just kind of a quick Band-Aid, sounds weird, right? $900 billion one last month.
But none of that made it to us. There's like still a discrepancy. I'm not even going to get into it.
Don't get into that. But they're printing money.
Yeah.
Figuratively, it's really just changing digits. It's digital now. But when the Biden administration, we're not political. I'm not really into politics, although I'm more into character and leadership, and we're kind of lacking that right now. And so, but when the new administration takes in, one of Biden's first agenda items is to pass this new stimulus bill, and it's projected to be about $2 trillion, so people can get their $2,000 checks. So just real quick, what is let's assume it passes, and let's assume it's going to be $2 trillion. What is that going to do to the current money you have in your bank? Let's say you're an average American, and let's say someone has $100,000 in the bank. What will that do to it?
So it's a lot of people don't understand what it means. When the government prints $5 trillion, that money's printed out of thin air. It's literally just created on a computer screen, and then they sell it off as debt. But really, here's the thing. When they print money, that money has to get its value from somewhere, because you can't just make money, and that's what they do, but it has to get value from somewhere. So it derives its value from your money right now. If this is $20 you have in your pocket, when they print money, this $20 is now worth less than $20. And when they keep printing money, it's worth a lot less. How much less? Well, if you look at the average right now, we're at about 3.2, and they're trying to keep inflation low. But I just saw some of the comments. You saw gas going to 3.55 inflation. How much is a loaf of bread now versus last year before COVID? More. Milk, more. Everything, more. Building supplies up 30%. That's more of a supply demand thing. But you think those prices are going to go down when supply kicks in? No. Inflation is a hidden tax. Don't make any two ways about it. The government wants inflation because they want to steal your money. You don't like what I'm telling you? It sucks, but the truth hurts. It is a hidden tax. And as they print more money, they steal value from your current dollars.
That's so valuable what you said there, that it's a hidden tax. But someone like Carolina Rodriguez says, shit, I wish I had $1,000 in the bank. I just have a regular job just over broke. But that's the plight of a lot of people, right? They don't have the luxury of having $100,000 in the bank. They might have 1,000 in the bank, maybe just enough to get them through to the next paycheck. What's that going to do? I mean, and they're the ones who really need the stimulus. They need the $2,000 help and rescue. But all that does is just really lower what they have in the savings, right? What little they do have.
It's kind of a catch-22 because, I mean, the government shut everything down. I mean, that's not, I think her name was Carolina. That's not Carolina's fault. That's not Duck's fault. It's not my fault. They shut everything down. You can't even go to a restaurant. I have my friends' restaurants closing. Their gyms are closing. They can't keep the doors open because the government has shut it down.
Yep.
So you kind of got to contain this thing. So you can take either side of that, but you know what? It is what it is. You can't change it. It's already happening. And now we got to deal with it. So the people that can't go to work, that are, working, but they can't make ends meet, like, they need help. But the funniest thing is the people that have all the money, FANG, I don't mean to pick on FANG, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, but like they did a thing, like with the amount that, what the heck was his name? My God, it doesn't matter. One of the politicians, what he spent on his campaign, he could have literally given every single American.
Oh, this last Georgia runoff race was like $650 million in advertising alone.
There you go. So $650 million, and I couldn't remember his name, but $650 million. How many people live in the United States? Isn't like
330 million?
330. So they spent 650 million. There's 330. How much money? What if somebody wanted to win an election? What if they just took the campaign budget and they just sent every single American a check? You think that American would vote for them? I bet you a lot of them would. So, but they don't do that. And, like, God, you can just keep going. But like, it's a broken system. There's nothing we can do about it. You got to read some books to understand why it is the way it is. Yeah. But it's the Federal Reserve, and you're never going to change it.
Before we move on, I do want to get this out of the way. You offer a lot of free fucking material, free lives, free videos. You do free Facebook lives, and then you do weekend trainings and stuff. And you got one coming this week at the end of this month, right?
Next weekend. Yep. So next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have a 3-day event, and literally
there's not the one coming in like 2 days, but like next.
So we just did a training today. We did a free training today. I have another free training Tuesday that if any of you want, you just send an email and I'll put it up. But send an email to Shauna at chrisnaugle.com, SHAWNA, and just send an email saying, give me the link for next week's free training. And we've been doing 3 of them. So you go get the third of 3 free trainings. And then I did one today. I do free trainings all the time. But the one next week, I always give stuff away for free because Greg Reed told me the biggest advice he'd give me is give your best stuff away for free. So I do. However, next weekend is a paid event. And I'm going to play a video before we wrap today to kind of sum it up. But sometimes people don't value free things. So this event is $197. You get me for 3 days. But you don't just get me. You get me and 7 of the other people that I work with on a regular basis. And every one of them are going to be giving their best stuff away for free on this event. It's $197. Every one of you, I got a little special offer. You get a free hat, a BYOB limited edition white camo. Yeah, white camo hat. I'm giving this to everybody. I'm giving it to all your people. If you sign up, you get this hat mailed to you. And, so that's the least I can do. But
and unlike Dr. V, Chris actually has a team.
Yeah, I do. My team.
I don't even have a hairstylist. I mean, look at this. Avery Gunther's giving you some love.
That's right. Look at this, man. My hair has been going nutty.
You're awesome. You do so much. And then tell Shauna's email address again. Somebody.
Yeah,
very best.
Yep, it's Shauna, SHAWNA at Chris Naugle, just like I think it's right there, CHRASNAUGLE. Just send her an email and she'll send you the link for the free training, and it's Tuesday of next week, and you'll love it. And then from there, you can make the decision if you want to do the 3-day, or some of you might want the 3-day today because you want the hat. So
there's the free training next Tuesday, and then a 3-day weekend for $197 next weekend. That's awesome. Let's talk about this inflation.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna let you go do your thing.
All right. I'm just going to level with all of you. There's a lot of problems right now. There's a lot of things we can worry about. But one of the biggest things you all need to worry about is getting control of your money. And if you don't get control of your money and you rely on somebody else to be in control of your money, you can't get ahead. Now, I don't care if you're JOB, just over broke and you don't have money in your bank. But, we got to figure this out because we can't always rely on somebody else to take care of things for us. We have to get that control back. But the other thing too is any of you that do have money, if it's in a bank or just sitting somewhere in someone else's control, somebody else is making money on your money. So we need to at least on our money beat inflation. So what is inflation right now? It's 3.2%. I drew this whole thing behind me. We're going to talk about, but it's 3.2% on average. But could it go to 5%? Absolutely. And if you read the book Creature from Jekyll Island, say it right, you'll read at the very end chapter that he talks about a 5% inflation rate. So we got to beat that. So where are you going to make 3.2%? Is your money making that? Is it making it in a bank account? If it's not, you're losing money every year. And the hidden tax, I want you to all understand, it's not that your goods and services are going up in price. It's that your dollars are buying less of those goods and services. Every time they print money, your dollar becomes worth less, which buys less goods and services, which means the price goes up. And eventually that becomes a really big problem over years because now nobody wants your money because the second they get your money, at the end of the day, those goods and services actually now are costing more money. That's inflation. So how do we beat that? Well, it's a tricky, slippery slope. You can either go and you can take a bunch of risk and invest in the stock market. You can do a lot of things, but there's a risk involved. But what if there was a way a place where the wealthy put their money that will beat inflation, that will keep you ahead of inflation, that will do that in a guaranteed basis? Like, isn't that a beautiful word? Guaranteed. It's a word I don't say much. It's a word as an advisor I hardly was ever able to say. But that's the key. Like, we're going to show you what you do. And it just involves you changing one thing, folks, adding one step to your life. That's how simple it is. You got to add one step.
We're going to talk about me, myself, and I.
I know I'm going to pick on you because I got some cool things for you.
We're going to do my actual numbers on how we're going to control my money. So can we jump to the bottom line? How do you get control of your money?
All right, let's do it. So can you guys see this screen okay? Because I tried making this as simple as possible. You want to beat inflation, you got to add one step to your life. What do? So if you can see, this is what you do. You make money, you have income coming in from your W-2 job, from your business. Maybe it's the stimulus check. You can see here I drew a clown okay, looking down at the fiat money, but that's just a joke. So if you got income, what are you doing with it right now? You're putting it in a bank, okay? That's what you're doing with it. And how much money is your bank paying you? Well, I put down FA. You can figure out what that stands for. Yeah, it's you can figure that one out pretty darn easily. But if we change one thing and we change where the money goes first, see, when you put money in a bank, the bank makes 400 to 1,300% more than you do. You guys have been in the bank before. Think about it. Like, you take your money, take this money, and you give it to the teller, and you say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Teller, can you take this $20 and put it in my little box in the back with my name on it? That's what you think happens, or what you wish happened. That's not what happens. That safe back there, that big vault, there's no money in there. There used to be, but there isn't anymore. They take your money and they lend it out to everybody else.
Right. They have to move the money to make the money.
Correct. So
that's all digital anyway. So the whole paper thing is just for us to feel comfortable and secure.
Not only that, if you read books, you'll see that, like, when there's a panic, a run on the banks like there was in March, what you'll see is you'll see Brinks trucks pull up, and the armed guards come in with the bags of money, and they walk it back to the vault. Just so you all know, you've all watched good movies before, and there's good actors. That's just an act. It's so that everybody doesn't panic. Oh, whew, there's bags of money coming in. I guess it's okay. My money's fine here. It's just a show, folks. The money's not there. The FDIC, they don't have the money to back that money.
So those are empty bags they're carrying into the banks?
Yeah, there's probably money in those bags for real. Yeah. I mean, it comes from the Federal Reserve. It's just the central bank.
I guess they're actually just changing out the cash that they have on hand for the tellers and stuff like that, right? But it's not like huge amounts like you would think.
No, it's a show. It's definitely a show. And if you don't believe me that it's a show, any of you that went to the bank in March or April when there was these runs and you tried taking all your money out of the bank, why wouldn't the bank give you all your money right then and there?
They don't have it.
Exactly. So I'm not going to go any further with that. So what do you got to do? Well, if they're making all the money, why don't we just mimic what they do? And what does a bank do? A bank moves money. They take your money, they move your money to somebody else in the form of a loan, and then those loan payments come back into their bank, and they keep moving that money out. I'm not going to get into fractional reserve lending, but you can do the same thing by just changing one thing. The first thing you got to do is you got to change where that money goes first. So where it should go first, and this is what the wealthy do. Who are the wealthy? You can go to my YouTube, The Chris Naugle, and you can watch IBC documentary. How about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, Walt Disney, Ray Kroc, heck, Joe Biden has gone public talking about it. McCain, I could go on and on and on. Pampered Chef, they all use this. So why do the wealthy use this and you've never been taught about this? That's a good question that we don't have time to get into. But if you just change where your money goes first, not all of it, but the money you save, okay, the money that you're putting in the bank with the intent to leave that money there, that's a mistake. Because if your money is at the bank, and I know I was joking around with the FA, but let's just say your money's making 1% or less, okay? If you're making 1% or less, you're actually losing 2.2%. You're losing money every single year on that money.
That's me. Less than 1%, baby.
There you go. Less than 1%. I mean, we all do this. You just got to start thinking. I mean, all I'm doing is teaching you and telling you what's actually going on out there, and it hurts. It sucks. But if we change where the money goes first, if we stop putting money in banks and we learn what the wealthy do, and the wealthy don't keep all their money in banks. They might control the banks, but guess what? They don't keep their money there. You know why I know this? Because the banks don't even keep their own money in banks. You know where they put their money? The largest banks in the world do this. They put their money in insurance companies. That's right. Who has all the money? Oh, some people say Wall Street. Some people say the banks. Oh, no, folks, no.
Yeah, somebody commented that they're just going to stick to the stock market. And you and I have been talking for months about the stock market's about.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I don't have time to get into that tonight because
it's like almost another high today, like 31,000. It's just about.
I know it's, but I know why. I can tell you why. I could spend a whole hour telling you why, but we've already done that. And half of you won't believe me anyway because you'll just look at what everybody else is doing. You'll watch the news, and it just looks like it's never going to end. Well, it looked like it was never going to end in 2007. It looked like it was never going to end in 1927, 1928. And I could keep going on. But, folks, you can believe what you want, and you know what? You're going to soon find out whether you were right or wrong. And I don't know when. But the wealthy put their money in insurance companies.
But it's a special type of insurance company, right?
Very special, yes. So I'm not just talking about regular insurance companies. Don't call Geico and say, "Hey, Geico, I got some money. I want to deposit it." No, these are very specially designed policies that are done through mutually owned life insurance companies. Which companies? I don't know. Let's name a couple. Mass Mutual, American United Life, Lafayette Life. These are huge they've been around hundreds of years. Okay, AUL is One America, just so everybody knows. These are giant insurance companies that have been around forever, but they're mutually owned. There's no stockholders. You can't buy Mass Mutual stock, you can't buy One America stock, and you can't buy Lafayette Life stock. They're mutually owned, which means they only care about their policyholders. Now, what kind of policy? I'm talking about this vehicle right here, right? So if we're going to change our money from going to a bank and we're going to put some of it into insurance companies, how do we do that? Well, you do that through an age-old vehicle, a machine. And here's what it is. And don't get mad at me for saying this because it is what it is, but then I'm going to tell you that it isn't what it is. Whole life insurance. I know as soon as I say that, everybody's like, oh my God, here we go.
Whole life insurance.
Oh my God. Dave Ramsey said whole life is the worst place you can put money. And Dave Ramsey just put his foot in his mouth recently when he opened up the Pandora's box on this one, because he tried talking like he always does about knowing everything. And I swear to God, everyone in my industry jumped down his throat. He was completely wrong, false information. And it was sick. His math was even wrong.
Just to be clear, it's a special type of whole life insurance policy that someone like you with the expertise needs to be able to set up.
Yeah, this isn't something you're going to go to your life insurance store and buy. This isn't something you're going to call your financial advisor and do. They won't even know what you're talking about, or they'll pretend like they do because they want their commission. These are specially designed and engineered whole life policies that are designed for banking. Totally different. They're designed the way the banks use them.
Designed for banking. That's what we're going to set up for me tonight, or walk through.
I'm literally going to go into Duck's numbers for the first time, and I got a really cool thing. But let me just show you. Here's the goal. Remember I said what the bank does? You take your money, you give it to the bank. You say, here, deposit my money. The bank moves your money. That's what you're going to do. You're going to move your money. You're going to move it around this circle. But what are you going to do? Well, if we're going to move your money, we're going to deposit money here, and then we're going to take that money out. This is just your regular bank account. So these two boxes are just the bank account. We got to have a stopping point. And you're going to move the money over here. Now, what's over here? Over here are all the things that you do with your money. What do you do with your money? You buy cars, don't you? You pay off those credit cards every month. Okay, you do all sorts of things. You buy houses. So this is your money problem. And the money problem is nothing more than where your money goes. Because if your money isn't going to you, it's going to somebody else. And the problem is, in this country, 90 cents of every dollar prior to COVID was going to somebody else. Might be more now. But then once we do this and we move the money from here to here, we need to find a way to move the money back to your bank. Because if this specially designed and engineered whole life is your bank, okay, we want money to go out of your bank into the things that we're always going to buy, and then go back from your bank into
what does the IBC stand for again?
Infinite Banking Concept.
Okay, Infinite Banking Concept. And that's the specially designed whole life insurance policy that's designed to be used to move money around.
It's the Infinite Banking Concept is a process. It's not a product at all. It has nothing to do with the product. It's just ever since the beginning, the only vehicle that works for this is whole life, these specially designed whole lives. IBC, Infinite Banking Concept, is a process of becoming the bank. It's a process of taking back the banking functions in your life. And listen, folks, I know that.
Let me stop you real quick. So you're taking back the banking functions of your life. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, someone commented, boring annuities. These are not annuities.
I hate annuities. Are you kidding me? You're confusing this with an annuity?
And also, you're not investing in an insurance company. Someone said, "Oh, why would I invest in an insurance company?" They
you can't.
An actual whole life policy that actually pays a death benefit when you die, right? Like
we're gonna look at your numbers. We're gonna pull your pants down tonight. So we can't listen, folks. You can't invest in these companies. I already said it. They're mutually owned. You can't buy stock in a mutually owned company. They're mutuals. That's the thing. So keep your jar in a pickle. That's interesting. So all right, listen, you guys must just like numbers. So let's get away from this and let's get into some fun stuff. Let's look at duck stuff here. All right. So I'm going to come over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at, these are the numbers. We summarize them, but let me just go to a bigger page here. There's a lot of numbers here. And can you just click that and zoom in on this? Because this is really small. And you know what? I'm actually going to do something different here. How about this? I'm going to come to this because I want you guys to
be clear, just so everybody knows. These are my numbers, right?
This is your plan. Yeah.
And just to be clear, I haven't seen these numbers yet.
No, you have not.
I have not seen these numbers. So
I told you what they were, but you have not seen them quite yet.
Yeah, I trusted the concept, what you were doing. It does require a physical exam. A nurse came over and took my vital signs, drew my blood, lab work. But if someone's in bad health, how can they get around that?
The same way that a bank gets around it. So what a bank does is a bank hires vice presidents or promotes vice presidents. A bank is an entity. A bank can't buy life insurance, but banks are the #1 purchasers of whole life insurance in the world. Look it up. BOLI. Google BOLI. It's bank-owned life insurance. They own more life insurance, whole life insurance, than they do all the land and buildings combined. So if you think, and the thing you might be saying is, oh, whole life, it's stupid. Okay, well, if that's stupid, then banks must be stupid. But the last time I checked, banks are making all the money off of your money. So if they're that stupid, well, I think you need to look yourself in the mirror, because I had to. I remember when I first heard about this, I didn't believe it. I said it was too good to be true. I said, I'm in the business. I'm an advisor. There's no way it works this way. But you see, I didn't know what I didn't know. And Will Rogers says the most profound quote that you all need to remember. And he says, the biggest problem in America is not what people don't know. The biggest problem in America is what people think they know that just ain't so. I thought I knew what I didn't know. And many of you are right there too. Those of you that are talking about the stock market, that statement is for you. So here's Duck's plan. Now, I know it's a little bit small, but I'm just going to give you the numbers. So first and foremost, all right, let me see, get some numbers here. Want to get a color you can see. There we go. So Duck, now, again, I don't want you to get hung up on the numbers. These are his numbers. Okay, we didn't make these up. These are his numbers. You can see right there on the screen. That's his plan, not mine, not yours. But his numbers are not your numbers. Your numbers might be smaller. They might be higher.
Actually, this is a good place to stop you. What's the minimum someone needs to get started? Can you tell us that number again?
Right there, 10 times your age. So if you're 43
per month.
Yeah, I'm 43. So 10 times 43 is 430 a month. That's my minimum. So 10 times your age is the minimum. But,
to get started to become your own bank, but you don't just give that money away. That 430 actually goes into the policy that you have access to. Sure. It's not like you're paying that fee, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a cost of insurance, so I want to be transparent. So for doing all this, there is a cost, but cost is only an issue in the absence of value. So after I run you through these numbers, you, not me, can decide whether there's value in this. Now, remember, there's a death benefit. So with Duck's plan, here's the numbers. So Duck is going to deposit $162,500. This is a dump in. He's literally got this money in an account. He's going to move it from his right hand to his left hand. That's all he's going to do.
Give it up for Dr. V. Woo!
There we go. Woo! All those rapid tests. No, I'm just kidding. But it's going to go from the right hand to the left hand. And you know the difference? How much money do you think he's going to be earning on this? Does anyone know? How about 4% guaranteed? Okay, that's how much money he's going to be earning on this 162.5.
So now, a viewer said earlier, I don't trust anybody who says they guarantee a return. So how can you guarantee this 4% return?
I don't guarantee you anything. This company does. So why don't you look up Mass Mutual? They're a 168-year-old mutually owned insurance company. Why don't you just look what they're worth? They're one of the Fortune, I think, 100 companies. So don't ask me to guarantee it. The insurance company does. And the last time I checked, the insurance companies guarantee a lot of things. When you crash your car, they guarantee you that they're going to give you a check, or that. They guarantee a lot of things. That's the business they're in. So if you don't believe...
The insurance companies guaranteeing the 4% minimum, right?
That's the minimum. That's 4% minimum.
And then a viewer... Hold on, let me... Because this is important right here. David Wickland. So for me at 48 going on 49, I need to start setting aside $490 monthly for this. And I want people to remember, you're not putting it like... You have access to this money, right? Can you clarify that? It's not.
I don't need to clarify. I'm just going to prove it. But if everybody keeps jumping in with comments and negative things, I can't prove anything. Just the math proves it. You want to talk about guarantees? Mass Mutual can guarantee it. No question. So if you don't trust someone that says, I guarantee something, then you got much bigger issues, because there's a lot of guarantees going on by insurance companies out there. This is the minimum, but you got to think about something. When you write a check for an insurance policy, okay, for your car insurance, that's an expense. That's money going out the door for you, okay? We don't want more expenses. But when you make a deposit in your bank, doesn't that feel good? Don't you have that warm and fuzzy feeling? Oh, take my money. Here's my deposit. Take it. Oh, you feel good. It's a deposit. Folks, what I'm showing you here, what I'm going to prove to you here is a deposit, not an expense. If you want to write checks to insurance companies for expenses, buy more car insurance. Go out and buy more term insurance like Dave Ramsey tells you to do. If you want to make better deposits into a better bank, in a better banking system than your traditional bank that makes 400 to 1,300% more money on the deposits you leave there, then this is your answer.
I like that answer. So think of it, you're making a $490 deposit into your bank.
Deposit. Yep, that's what we talk.
It's a deposit into your own bank account. It's not a payment. It's not a principal. It's not. I love that. Let's stick to that. So the minimum you need to get started using this concept is 10 times your age, and that's a deposit you're making every month. But you can pay it annually. So I'll be paying a lump sum.
You're right. So Doug is dumping 162.5 in. It's just money he has sitting there in left field. He's moving it to the right field so that he earns 4%. Plus, these companies, I said they're mutually owned. This company, Mass Mutual, as of 2021, pays a 2% dividend. So simple math, 4 plus 2 is how much? You got it right, 6%. That's how much you're making per year. And of that, 4% of it is guaranteed. And some of you are like, yeah, but I don't trust that 2% dividend. Okay, for 168 years, Mass Mutual has paid dividends consecutively every year. And unfortunately for all of us, right now in 2021, this 2% dividend is the lowest dividend they have paid in 30 years. Folks, we're in hard times. 2% is the lowest dividend they paid in 30 years. So hopefully things get better. But let's get into the numbers, right? So he deposits 162.5 plus each year. We built the plan so that he could deposit an additional $100,000 each and every single year if he wants to. Now, if he doesn't want to deposit 100, how much can he go down to? He can reduce that by 60%. So his minimum he would have to deposit into this account to keep it running the way that I'm going to show is $40,000. He's got a 60% variation. Okay, he can do 100 every year. That's his option. He can never go higher. He can never put any more than 100 because of the IRS rules called MEC rules. Not getting in the weeds, but that's his max. That's his minimum. So what do his numbers look like? Well, let me just kind of show them to you because this is going to be really fun for you to see. So all of you that have a whole life or think you know what you don't know about whole life, you would think you deposit money, or if you make a premium deposit into your whole life, you can't take any money. And if you said that, you're absolutely right, because most whole life policies in year 1, 2, and usually year 3, you have none of your own money you can take. But this plan, because it's designed specially and it's completely different than what you know of whole life, he puts in 262. Okay, that's his amount. 162 plus that puts 262,500 into the plan. Anyone want to guess how much money he can take out immediately in the first year? And what we always say is if he wants this money, and he's going to put it in, and immediately in the first 30 days, he's going to take it back out.
I like the term deposit. I think if we stick to, I deposit 262.5 into my policy.
Well, what did I say?
Put in.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, deposit. I was like, I don't think I said. So he's depositing 262.5. And if he does that in the first year, we got a column here, total cash value end year. He has 246,275. Okay, so he puts in 262. He can take out 246. How much of a percentage is that? 93% of his deposit. Some of you are thinking right off the bat, you're thinking, oh, that sucks. He can't even use 100% of his money. You're right. There's a trade-off. So then what is the next step? Let's go to year 2. Year 2, first year he's deposited 262.5, and he has the ability to take 246 out. Now let's just say Doc puts in the 262 deposit and he takes out 246. How much money is he making interest on? Does anyone want to guess? Is it the net? Is it 262 minus 246? Is that how much he's making interest on? Because that's how your bank would do it, the remaining amount. No, he is making interest and dividends on the full 262.5, even though he has the ability to take out 246,000.
Okay, I want to stop you there real quick because you're going to lose some people, but I understand what you're saying. So basically, if I deposit 262.5, I can take out 240,000 as a loan to myself,
right?
Which means it doesn't touch my principal, the 262.
Your money never left your account.
Yeah, that money never left my account. So that money earns what you love to call uninterrupted interest on that 4%.
Yeah, 4 plus.
That makes sense. Is there some ahas here coming, you guys? This is very different than if I had money in my savings account. Let's say I had 262,000 in my savings account in my bank, and I went to go build a house. I would have to take that money out, and I would only earn a measly 1% on the remainder. But this is the full amount. You earn 4%.
All of this money is in your account and it never leaves, even when you take the money out. Because when you take this 246 out, he's not actually taking a withdrawal like you do from your bank. He's taking a loan. The insurance company is giving him a loan. He doesn't have to apply for it. He doesn't have to get a credit check.
Listen,
he clicks a button and the money goes.
I'm going to stop you real quick, but because Veronica is really pissing me off. She says reality check, not a lot of people has that money. I need Veronica to go away because I grew up really poor, and even as a surgeon, I went broke. So I understand this. And if you're not paying attention, that all you need is 10 times your age. So if you're 50 years old, that's $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. Someone could do this to basically create your own banking system. It's not a payment. It's not. And someone asked earlier, do you have a benefit? Yeah, you can have a beneficiary. So once you graduate, once you die, the value of your life insurance gets paid to whoever you leave it to, right, Chris? I don't mean to interrupt you,
if
but
you die the first year, $5.6 million is his death benefit. So now let's get this monkey off our back, right? Loan. As soon as I say loan, you're like, oh, great. I'm putting money in and then I got to borrow it from the insurance company. So now I created more debt. No, you didn't. You see, this loan, we call it a loan because what they're doing is they're giving you a loan against your death benefit. So they're giving you a loan against this $5.6 million.
Veronica and I just made up, so we're good.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. I'm glad you guys made up. Play nice. You know, it's just like being in the sandbox. You guys got to share and play nice. So let's just use 200,000 because simple math. He puts in 262.5. He's making 4% plus the dividend on 262.5. He wants the money. He wants 200 grand to go buy a piece of real estate. So he hits a button in his online portal and he gets a loan for 200,000. The insurance company gave him a loan against his death benefit. He leveraged his death benefit. So now his death benefit is going to drop by $200,000. So 5.654. Yeah, I had it right. $5.4 million is the amount left. Okay. So that's all the insurance company did. They shuffled numbers on the page because the insurance company not only guaranteed you 4%, but they also guaranteed to pay $5.6 million if Duck dies. So you see, all we're doing is we're shifting numbers on a screen. But here's the downside. This loan is not free money. The insurance company, Mass Mutual, is going to charge Duck 5% simple interest. But you see, how much did I tell you Duck is making on all of the money? Didn't I tell you 6% for 2021? So 6% minus 5 is how much? Okay. So in the first year, 6 minus 5, doesn't that mean he's making 1%? So if he took all the money out in the first year, if he could, right? If he took it all out, he's still making 1% spread on his money. Math doesn't lie, folks. 6 minus 5 is 1. If you went to your bank account and drained it, took it all out, does your bank still pay you 1% on the money that isn't in your account anymore? Absolutely not. It doesn't work that way. But so this is it. And you know, I'm just doing the first year. And what I'd really like to do now is I'd like to blow your guys' minds. You guys okay if I blow your mind? Because like now I'm kind of going into some silly stuff here. And you guys are probably not believing me the same way I didn't believe this when I first.
Come on, blow my mind, brother. Let's do this.
All right. So let me get into this because I prepared this, or Andrew prepared this for you guys, just for you. This is something that was created literally how long ago? Half hour ago?
Oh, not even that.
Half hour ago for you guys. This is Duck's plan. He hasn't even seen these numbers. But what we do here for all of our clients when they set up a banking policy through the money multiplier, we build what's called a cash flow model. So remember I said the first year, if he had 262 in the plan and he took out, so he had 262.5 and he takes out 200, by simple math, you would think he only has 62,500, but he actually has 262.5 that's earning interest. This 200 went out as a loan and the insurance company charged him 5%, but that's okay because the insurance company is paying him 6% on the full amount. So he's paying a loan interest rate of 5% simple. Plus, if you guys don't understand compound interest, you need to understand what Albert Einstein says. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, so he says, It's the most powerful thing in the financial universe. Those that understand it earn it. Those that don't pay it. This 262.5 earning 6% goes up next year. So then he's earning 6% on a higher amount. The next year on a higher amount. The next year on a higher amount. And I'm a jerk out, but the next year on a higher amount. It keeps going up, folks. The loan stays the same. If he never paid the loan back.
And just remember, I'm loaning the money to myself to use to do something like I want to do. Like maybe I want to buy rental properties, or I want to buy this new stocks. Can I use this to buy stocks, right?
You can use this to buy anything you want.
If the stock market, if we think the stock market is going to crash, so all these companies like Tesla is going to go get discounted, I would take money out of my own banking system and use it to buy stocks or real estate or whatever. And then that principle, that 262 stays there. It doesn't go away and just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So in March, when the market crashed, I bought Tesla using a loan from my banking policy. Okay. Took a loan out and I bought Tesla at $418, I think it was, somewhere in that range. I sold it at $890. A lot of you would say I'm a fool for selling it at $890. I made a lot of money and I used the loan from this. So you can do anything you want. But here's the deal. All right. So let's just hit math. I want to hit this hard. So pay attention, please, because you're not going to believe these numbers, but here they are right on the screen, right off of Duck V's illustration. Numbers don't lie. So the first year he puts in 262, but he's only got 246. So he lost money hypothetically. The second year he puts in $100,000. It's right here. Puts in 100 grand. Okay. And the second year, if what we did.
Clarify, my account is set up to add 100 grand a year. They don't have to add 100 grand a year, right?
No, listen, don't get hung up on the numbers. I know Veronica was getting hung up on the numbers. Like, just remember, 10 times your age. This is just his plan. I can't show you different numbers. This is his plan. Like, I'm giving him his real numbers off of his real policy contract. Like, so don't get hung up on the numbers. And it's great because 100K is nice, easy math. Right? So 100,000 is easy math. If you did 10,000 or you did 5,000, you just do the same math. It doesn't change. He puts in 100 year two. And in year two, how much can he take out? 103. Okay. So he made $3,070 on that 100,000. So a lot of you would be like, yeah, that's still not that much. Great. Let's keep going. How about year three? Puts in 100, takes out 100. And he's got 106. Puts in 100. He's got 106 to use. How much did he make? 6,940. How much of a return is that? 6.9%. If you did the math, if you took the difference of 6,940 and you divided it into 100, that's how much he made that year. 6.9. Well, let's keep going because it gets way better. Let's go to year five. Year five, he puts in 100. Okay. And in year five, he has 112, which means in year five, he's got $12,595 he made. That's correct. What is the return on that? Well, it's 12.5%, folks. So now remember what I said. The insurance company, when you take a loan, you lose 10. But in the first year, I did it with just what he made, 6. What is 12.5 minus 5? Is it better than 1%? Oh, yeah. Let's keep going, folks. Let's jump down to year 10. Okay. And here's the beauty. I'm not making numbers up. I'm not switching numbers. I'm just trying to save time. If we do this every single year I do this, I go from year 1 to year 2, year 2 to year 3, year 3 to year 4, year 4 to 5. You get the drift. Every year, his numbers go higher and higher. And I got it right here. You can't see it, but 6.9%, 8.9, 12.5, 28%, 109%. So let's do year 10. I think that's what I did. Yeah, let's do year 10 to year 11. Okay. So from year 10 to year 11, something happens. He hits what is called the IRS guideline, which is the MEC rules. He can't put 100,000 in year 11. He can only put 60%, which is 40,000. He can put 40,000 bucks into his plan in year 11. So he does that. He deposits 40 grand. He puts 40 grand in. And if we took the difference between year 11 and year 10, and we just subtracted those, that would tell us how much we grew. But then we'd have to subtract the amount he deposited. Here's the number. That year, from year 10 to year 11, he made 40,000, or actually, do I got that right? You got it. I got it. I'm sorry. His projected cash flow is $83,781. I did my math wrong. That's crazy. Sometimes I still don't believe the numbers, but Andrew doesn't screw this up, okay? He made 83,000. Think about that for a second. He put in 40, He made 83. I want to repeat that. Year 10 to year 11, he put in 40, but he made 83. So if we take 83 minus the 40 he put in, how much did he make? He made $43,000. How many of you would be okay going to your bank, giving your bank teller $40,000, coming back 30 days later, and your bank teller hands you $43,000? I think that's it, $43,000. And then you say, wow, I didn't want all my money back. And the teller says, no, silly. Your 40 grand still sitting in the bank. This is your dividends and your interest that you earned. Here you go. Enjoy. And they give that to him as long. Listen, folks, I'm not making these numbers up. They're right here. I know it seems too good to be true, but you know why it seems too good to be true? Nobody's ever shown it to you. And the second reason is you don't understand the power of all of this money sitting in that account, earning 4% plus dividends every year, compounding up and up and up and up. And then he has the ability to take this money out anytime he wants. Okay. And when he takes this money out, he doesn't interrupt his compound interest. The only thing that happens is he has to pay the piper, the insurance company, 5%. How many of you would have a problem paying the insurance company 5% if you made 8.9%? You wouldn't, right? Would you have a problem paying the insurance company 5% if you made 12.5? How about if you made 28%?
Hey, Chris, here, I'm gonna stop you real quick. But,
yeah, okay.
I want to clarify a couple of things for people. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Someone asked, these numbers are unrealistic for most people. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment. But can you do it on $6,000? But the percentages would be roughly the same, right?
That's what I'm trying to say. Math, like mathematics doesn't change. If I did $1 million,
if someone's 50 years old and it's 10 times per month, so that's $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. If they put in $6,000 a year, they're going to get that 8%, 12%. The same thing will happen for them eventually, right?
Yeah. In transparency, I want everybody to remember, if they compare your numbers, these returns I'm giving yours, to what they would make if they just did 6,000 every year, they would be different. Theirs would be less because remember, you put in 162.5 up front. So that means you got 162% or 162,000 earning 4% plus dividend. And that's a head start. So that money keeps earning interest. But if it was just 100.
Yeah, but the percentages are the same. It doesn't matter. The percentages are the same.
It's just math, folks. Like the mathematics are so simple that it's kind of silly for me to go over this, but this is just the math. I don't make the numbers up. It's not based on some hypothetical stock market return. It's not based on if this happens or if that happens. Folks, these are the numbers the insurance company gives us. The only thing they can
what about the taxes on this stuff?
Oh, yeah, that's great. So, Duck is going to make, what did I just say? $43,000. He doesn't want to pay tax on $43,000. So good. You don't have to. Because when you take loans from the policy and you're taking money from your death benefit. So remember, every loan is taking money from your death benefit. If you know anything about life insurance, when you die, when you graduate, nice way of saying die, the life insurance company pays that death benefit 100% tax-free. Do they not? So if all you're doing during your lifetime is borrowing from your tax-free death benefit, the IRS says, hey, that money would have been tax-free someday anyway, so we're going to let you take these loans tax-free. Same reason why if any of you have a home equity line of credit on your house, how come you didn't have to pay tax on all that equity you took out of your house? It's a loan, folks. This is a loan. The only difference between the home equity line of credit loan and this loan is the home equity line of credit has to be paid back, otherwise your credit gets destroyed. This one, the only difference, this comes away from the death benefit that's going to be paid someday when he graduates. It's the difference, folks. It's tax-free. Plus, how about this? He used to be a surgeon. Surgeons are notorious for getting sued, aren't they? You know a lot of surgeons that got sued, didn't you?
Can't comment.
It's a fact. I can. Surgeons and doctors, like people love suing doctors and surgeons. Something bad happens and they get sued. This money, all of it, every bit of the money he has in this plan is, so let's go to year 10. He's got about 1.2 million. He gets sued.
What? Can anyone 1.2 million?
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh yeah, it gets bigger after that. 1.7 by year 15, 2.3 by year 20. And that's not, you're not even using this money. So you'd make a lot more money if I went back to the original screen, if you actually took the money out and used it to make more money in real estate. You'd make all the money you're making on real estate. I'm just showing you this stupid, specially designed whole life what you're making there. This isn't even what you're going to make. You're going to make more than this. So anyway, here's the returns, folks. I did it over here, or Andrew did it. Let me just keep this simple. In the 5th year, based on his deposits, and yours would be the same if you deposited a lower amount. It's just math. He makes a cash-on-cash return of 12.6%. In the 10th year, he deposits 100 grand. He makes a cash-on-cash return of 28.13%. 15th year, he deposits 40 grand because of the MEC limit. He makes 151% cash-on-cash. And this one gets silly, but year 20, he makes a 226.24% cash-on-cash.
Let me ask you a couple questions. So people are a little bit confused about the loan. Like, does it have to be paid back monthly? Now, normally, if I wanted to do a project, I'd go to a bank. They would loan me the money, and then I would pay them back interest. But what I'm doing with this, what we're calling a loan, that 5% there, I'm actually paying it back into my policy to get my death benefit back, right?
Well, here's the thing. So and listen, folks, there's a lot to unpack. We already went an hour. I have a 90-minute video, or you can come to the 3-day and we'll teach you all how this works, totally teach you how this works. You'll leave that 3-day knowing exactly what to do with this. But I'm just trying to help you understand and open your horizons to this is what the wealthy do with money. This has been around for 200 years, folks. This isn't new. You just haven't heard about it because in order for an advisor to tell you about this, they would have to know about it. And secondarily, how much money did he have available in the first year? Didn't I say like 93% he had access to? Do you know why? The advisor, me, okay, I'm not the advisor, but I'm the IBC practitioner that built this plan. I had to take a 90% haircut in my commission. My commission I get paid on this is 90% less than your financial advisor would make if they tried doing this. Facts, that's how it works. So the loan that he takes out, okay, to buy this piece of real estate, and let's just say this real estate makes him, $1,000 a month. That $1,000 a month, if he's smart, this loan he took, this is a loan from his bank. And he doesn't want to steal from his bank. Okay. He doesn't want to take money from his bank and steal from it. He wants to treat his money the same way he treats the bank's money. And if he borrowed money from the bank, he'd have to pay that $200,000 back to a bank, and they would benefit all the interest. So what he's going to do is he's going to then structure a loan back to himself for the same amount. Let's just say this house is $200,000 loan. Well, let's say he charges himself 4% interest on this loan, okay, over, I don't know, let's just do 30 years. And then he writes himself checks for $1,000 a month, repaying the loan to his policy. He just became the bank. Nothing changed. He would have given $1,000 a month to some conventional bank, and they would have made all the interest. Here he changed one thing, and he's the bank. And now
let me ask you this question, because there's questions about, like, is there a repayment schedule, et cetera, et cetera. So how does that happen? How do I know how much to pay myself back?
Great.
Do you set that up? Do you help me with that?
Yeah, so we have a whole team. Andrew right over here. Andrew, if you want to step over and say hi. Andrew is our mapping specialist, so he'll help you design however you want to use your money. Now, when you take a loan from the insurance company, I already told you the loan, this is Andrew, the loan does not need to be paid back because it's just an advance of your death benefit. But you should pay it back because it's your bank, and you should treat your bank the same as you treat other people's banks. So when you talk about do you have to make monthly payments? No, you're the bank. Yeah. If you owned a bank, folks, you would make the terms. And if you borrowed money from your bank, you'd be like, how much do I want to pay back? I want to pay $500 a month back. Okay, great. And I want to pay that back over 40 years. And I'm only going to charge myself 6%. You're the bank. You call the terms. You set the repayment. But we're going to help you with that. Okay, for free. Right. We don't charge for that.
Andrew, really quickly, can somebody use this? Like, let's say they're not Dr. V. Let's say they make $50,000 a year. Can they use this banking system to, like, pay their bills, pay their insurance, electricity, things like that, credit cards?
You can use this money for whatever you would like. Generally, we start off with paying off your debt, since most of the people that come to us have some sort of debt. Most Americans do. It's kind of how it works. This is something I'd rather pay interest to myself than somebody else. I mean, how many times do you like to make your mortgage payment and say, I feel great paying Bank of America interest? No, Said no one ever.
So my Visa card charges me 24.99%. Does that sound familiar to anybody? So let's say I have a Visa and I deposit money in this banking policy. I take a loan from my banking policy, which I'm earning 6% on the money, even though I took it out with dividend. And the loan costs me 5%. And I pay off Visa. Okay. But I was giving Visa $200 a month in monthly payments. So then once I paid off Visa and I no longer owe them $200 a month, if I'm smart and I want to be the bank, I take this $200 a month and I pay it back to myself.
Yeah.
That's not new money.
Andrew, to be completely transparent, myself in particular, Andrew, I'm going to, one of the first things I'm going to do, I have about $80,000 left in student loans.
Okay.
So what I would do, if I'm understanding this right, is loan myself the $80,000, pay off my debt that's charging me like 5% interest on my student loans. Yep. And then pay myself back that 5% interest, right? Basically.
Yeah. How much is your monthly payment?
$650.
Okay. So it's the same dollars. Every month you have to write that $650, right?
Right.
So Andrew, what would you do here?
So with that $650 a month, you would pay out. We would take your policy. Let's see, what's that first year? Let's do this in your first year. All right. So we also use the projected cash value. So that's your cash value plus your dividend. You got $246,000. You have more than enough to pay off your $80,000. Okay. From this projected cash value, we would pay off your student loans. Thank you. Okay. Then that $650 a month would go back into your account. It goes into a segregated account to pay yourself back. What you're doing is instead of paying that to whoever your bank is, all $650, because part of that's going to, depending on where you're at in your loan, part of this is going to be interest as well. I'm paying the whole thing back again. I'm still making money on all $246 and change $1,000 in this though. Or sorry, all $262,500. Still making 4% on every penny of that, even though I've taken out a loan. So, okay. So you're paying it back to yourself. You use all this money you've recaptured to then pay off future loans as well.
Yeah. And Charity had a question: is why do I have to pay it back if it's my bank? And the answer really is you don't. But they're taking it away from your death benefit, right?
Yeah. But no. Let's really dive into the psychology behind that. Why would I pay it back if I don't have to? Because if you don't, you're stealing from your bank. You don't go into Key Bank or Wells Fargo and steal from them. Okay, so why would you steal from your bank? Like you're not, Duck isn't, skipping out on his $650 a month payments. He's paying them because he has to. Feels like he has to. Yeah. If he took $80,000 from his bank to pay those loans off, why would he steal from his bank? Why wouldn't he pay his bank back the same amount that he pays their bank?
So I'm going to speculate just a little bit on it. I don't know where you're at in your loans, but let's say that out of that $650, I want to write on this too. Let's say out of that $650, you're paying $250 in interest. Okay, who are you paying that $250 in interest to? You're paying it back to companies, right? Okay, so why don't we just recapture all of that and not pay it to your bank? You're paying it back to your bank. What we're going to do is take that entire $650. We're going to pay it back into your banking system, into the loan that you're paying. All right, we have it in a segregated account. Okay, just pay the whole thing back. So I'm going to stop paying my banks all that interest.
Hey, just to be hey, Chris, can you draw something really quickly for me? Because I think it's super important so people don't get confused. Like, we're not telling them to close down their Bank of America account.
No.
You have to have a normal bank account, like a checking account or savings account for the system, the IBC, to dump money into. So can you kind of draw that wheel real quick?
Absolutely. Yep. Let's do this. So let's just keep it really simple. So, all we're talking about is changing one thing, folks. We're changing where the money goes. It's going into your bank, not somebody else's. And this is that, specially designed and engineered whole life. So we've got our money here. Let's just use simple math, $10,000, right? But then over here, you've got all these things going on right now. You've got a car payment. Let's call it $500 that you're giving to somebody else. You've got credit card payments that you're giving $200 a month to somebody else at 24.99%. Car payment, let's say, is 5%. You got college loans, student loans, right? $80,000 that you're paying $650 a month at 5%. You've got all these dollars and cents that you're giving away to somebody else. Every single month, you write a check to somebody else's bank, not yours. So now we start our bank. And all we do is we just need to move money from this side to this side and then back over. So let's just say this car loan, let's pick on the car loan. Let's say he owes, I don't know, let's just do $6,000. You got a balance of $6,000 on that car you're driving. So what we do is we take a loan from your bank, and we know that's going to cost us 5% simple interest. This is just your regular bank account, okay? I'm just showing the money stopping off at your regular bank. We call it a segregated bank account, just your conventional bank.
Could you put like BOA or something so people know?
Yeah, all right. So this is your Bank of America.
There you go.
There we go. All right. We got to
make America
granular. So then what we do is we got $6,000 that we just took as a loan. Okay. We took a $6,000 loan, and that money's in Bank of America. Then what we do is we write a check from Bank of America, and we pay off this loan for, I don't know, let's just say Bank of America gave you the damn car loan too. Why not? This is Bank of America car loan, and they're charging you 5%, $500 a month. So now you no longer owe any money on your car. Some of you would be super happy, and you'd be like, all right, I'm done. You're cheating yourself if you do that. What we teach is take this $500 that you were giving to Bank of America. Let's just redirect where that money goes. In other words, you used to write Bank of America on the check for the car payment. Now you write your name. So now we change the name on the check for $500. That $500 a month goes into your Bank of America bank account. And then what we do is we just set up a loan repayment to get the money back into your private bank. Now, why would we want to do that?
It's automated, like the loan repayment.
So listen, like we do all
automated, it just pulls it out.
The only thing we need you to do is set up for over here, like whatever this car payment is, set up a bill pay. Go in and set up a bill pay for $500 and write the bill pay check to your bank. Or some people would say, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to write a check. Great. Do an automatic transfer. We all know how to do it. Set up a transfer for $500 a month and have it go into this Bank of America account. And then from there, what we'll do is Andrew will help set up a loan repayment automatic for $500 a month. So literally $500 just that you used to give away now goes back into your account. And you know what the best part about this is? Every single check, every time this $500 comes back into your bank, you have $500 more to use. Every time you write a check to Bank of America for the car loan, what do you have? $500 less in your bank account.
What you just said is so fucking important, Chris. It's only taken us 6 months to get around to this shit. You pay back $500, you have access to that again.
Of course you do. Listen, you're the bank. How would you not have access to it?
I don't. It's not. It's simple to you, but you gotta I gotta help you simplify this shit even further. God.
It's so different than anything you've ever been taught in your life. And that's the one thing about this. It's getting you to get your head away from this is how I do loans to something completely different. So it takes a little while.
I might be.
I have an aha from some people who are watching right now. Put a aha in the comment section. If you guys just understood what he said there. When you pay that $500 car loan back to your private bank, you've got access to it again. You can go back and reloan yourself $500.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what you should do. So let's go.
And that's what you should do.
Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. So
then you go back and create your credit cards and shit. Oh, hell.
So we just got that right now. Every month you're writing checks $500 back to your bank. Now, okay. So now you're like, all right, well, shit, I don't want to pay this credit card 29 or 24.99. So we do the same thing. We take another loan, and let's just say, I don't know, let's just use $3,000. Okay. We owe the credit card $3,000. We take a $3,000 loan from our bank. Okay. Right here. We take a $3,000 loan. Loan number 2. We stop it off at Bank of America. And then in Bank of America, hell, most of you probably just do bill pays, but you write a check. And what we do is we write that check for $3,000 to pay off this credit card. Now the credit card's gone. $3,000 is no longer owed to Visa. But Visa was getting 24.99% out of you at $200 a month. So all we're going to do, folks, is we're literally going to set up a bill pay or a transfer for $200. The same amount you were giving away, we're going to set that up to go back into your Bank of America account. And then from Bank of America, we're going to set up an automatic loan repayment for $200 a month. Now, how much money did you just recapture? $500 from the car. So we got $500 extra dollars a month going into our account, plus $200 from Visa. How much money did we just make every month? $700. Did you have to work any harder for that money? No. Did you have to work any longer for that money? Did you have to take on any risk? Absolutely not. And you didn't lose control. Matter of fact, you gained control back of $700 every single month. But here's the best part, folks. We already know over here we're making 4% guaranteed. Okay, we already know that. So we already covered that. But how much more money did you just make? Didn't we make 5% over here on the car payment? Because you were giving 5% to somebody else. So let's give an aha and a woohoo to 5% being made on that car payment you're now paying to yourself. But the Visa was charging you 24.99%. So you're now paying yourself the $200 you used to give the Visa. So how much did you pick up there? 24.99%. Folks, how do you like those apples? And I'm not even getting into the numbers of what the policy makes you. We already did that. This is just money that you're giving away. This is money that somebody else is making on you. And then we could go right down the line. The boat payment, the vacation credit card payments, the line of credit.
Looks like. So, not even that. Says, tried this 15 years ago with my financial broker and got the wrong policy.
Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did. You know, who is that? That's Bahama Shana, I think. Cool name, but that happens a lot. Listen, like one of the biggest problems I have in this business is exactly what she just said. She just said exactly what all of you will probably do. You'll listen to this. You'll get excited. You'll call your financial advisor, your life insurance agent. You'll tell them you just heard about this. Your advisor will say, oh, yeah, I can write you a whole life. They will write you a whole life. You'll get it in the mail. You'll get the email from your advisor, and you'll look at the numbers. Oh, man, this is going to look just like Chris. You're going to look at it. Year 1, 0. Year 2, 0. Man, that guy was lying. That guy on Duck V's was lying. Yeah, my advisor did this, and he said it didn't work. Folks, your advisor doesn't know how to do this. Nobody taught me how to do this. I was an advisor for 16 years. I never once learned this from an advisor, from a brokerage, from a company. I learned this from the wealthy. That's who knows how to do it.
Let me stop you real quick because Maria Whiteley has an important statement. So what, do I just call my Mass Mutual and ask for a whole life policy?
No.
No. Please don't.
Hey, Chris, really quickly, you've had some major ahas. We were at almost an hour and a half.
I know.
But you're doing a free training next Tuesday where you're going to talk in depth about this. And then you have the 3-day weekend next weekend.
Right. So
I actually have the link for that. If you want to go check it out, it's drvmoney.com. If you want to learn more, you don't have to, you just go check out the website, drvmoney.com. And that's how you're going to get connected with Chris. But Chris, you're also on Facebook. So they just find you. How do they find you on Facebook?
Well, don't find me on Facebook because it's my personal page is, I'm already maxed out. Why don't you guys go to my website? Just go to chrisnaugle.com and then just go to the free resources. There's a 90-minute video, and I just redid it. So in a day or two, I'll have the new one up. Watch the 90-minute video. It will explain all of this. It literally will walk you through a 90-minute journey. But you might say, oh, I don't have 90 minutes. Well, then I can't help you. But if you watch the 90-minute video, here's what I will make a promise to you. If you watch that 90-minute video, I will set up a call with you, and I will walk you through your specific situation and if we can help you or if we can't. So don't just call Mass Mutual because they won't know how to do that.
And for the people who are just joining on late, I want to be totally clear. Like Chris set this up for me personally.
That was
those are my numbers we used earlier. Mm-hmm. So you can go back and watch that replay. So I'm trusting Chris with my money, but you don't actually I'm not giving you my money.
I appreciate that, but I don't want your money. You're never ever. None of you are ever going to write a check to me. You're never going to pay me, and you're never going to give me your money. Your money is going to go into a ginormous mutually owned insurance company, American United Life, Lafayette Life, or Mass Mutual. Like, don't think you got to trust me. Hell, I don't even need to be trusted because you're never going to touch. I'm never going to touch your money. I'm just going to give you my knowledge, show you this process, and help you set up your banking.
The opposite. So just in comparison, because I've had financial advisors in the past, I would give them my money, and they would put me in some sort of plan, what they would call a diverse portfolio. And maybe a couple times a year, they'd move it around. But that's not what you're doing. I don't give you my money.
Never. We're just, all we're doing, folks, it's simple. We're just mimicking what the bank does every single day with your money. And we're mimicking exactly what the wealthy have been doing since hundreds of years ago with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds who kind of created this system. They didn't trust banks, even though they own banks and the Federal Reserve, like they're the main shareholders, but they don't trust banks, so they don't even put their money in there. They put them in insurance companies. Facts. Watch the IBC documentary on my YouTube channel.
And the other thing, to be really clear, would you take a percentage of the investment? That's not how. No, you take a very small setup fee, right?
No, I don't even take a setup fee. You don't pay me nothing. Don't you dare pay me any money. You want to pay me money? Go to my 3-day event. It'll cost you $197, and I'll give you a hell of a lot more than just teach you how to do this.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you're going to pay me for, folks. Doing this, I get paid by the insurance company. Even though the insurance company pays me like complete shit, I do hundreds, if not thousands of these. We have 3,000 clients, 3,000 in climbing that we taught how to do this. So if there's 3,000 people, all of you should go online and try to find some negative dirt, because clearly out of 3,000 people, there's got to be one pissed off person.
Right.
Good luck, folks. If you guys find one negative thing about me online regarding this, I'll send you a free hat.
Hey,
I'm not going to be giving any hats away today, folks.
A couple of quick questions, Chris. Somebody, and I forgot his name just off the top of my head, asked, if you die and your beneficiary gets the account, can they continue doing it, or do they have to cash out?
They would have to set up their own. So when you graduate, if you're the owner and the benefit, or the owner and the insured on the policy, like Duck V, when Duck V's gone, somebody's going to get a big old fat check, and the insurance company is going to say, thank you for playing. And then that person got the big old check and say, hey, can I play? Can I set mine up? And then I will say yes. If I'm
now, Chris and Andrew, on the other side, you can set up more than one policy. So I've got 2 daughters.
Yep.
I was thinking about setting up one in their name, right?
Yeah. Yep.
For each one of them in their name, but I control the banking part.
You control the money. They're the insured. So you're setting them up for the future. You're in control of every penny of the money until you decide to make them the owner, and then you change ownership over to them.
Yeah. So at 18 or 25 or 30, or when I feel like they're responsible.
Right.
Yeah. So right now I have 7 banking policies. So you saw 1 with Duck. I have 7 of those. I have 3 with Larissa. Okay. My wife, Larissa, has 3. I have 2 on my mother that I pay for. And pretty soon my she's going to be 8 months old this coming week. I'm going to eventually set one up for her when she's a year old.
Yep.
That's great. That's awesome.
I know it's a lot of stuff, folks. I know, and really the way we did it today, I'm sure all of you are confused. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So you have to do yourself a favor. Watch the video. Just watch the video. You had aha moments, but believe me, you're going to have an aha moment that's going to knock your ass out of the chair when you watch the videos on my website or on my YouTube, which is the Chris Naugle. And if you come to this 3-day event, you actually put your money where your mouth is and spend $197 by going to that DRV money link. I'm going to not just blow your mind. I don't know what's going to happen. Something.
Nuclear annihilation.
Yeah, nuclear annihilation. Yeah.
You want to talk about aha moments? I saw a little while ago a comment come up that Veronica said that she's on board.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, angry Veronica.
Go, girl. You go, girl.
You made a believer in under an hour and a half. It's great. I think it's a new record.
But, like I said, so any of you that join me for the 3-day, and I promise you, listen, I'll make 2 promises right now, okay? These are things I can guarantee. If you sign up for the 3-day by going to DRV Money and you join me for 3 days where I'm going to blow your mind and give you a nuclear annihilation in education on money, I'm going to mail you a hat. But the second thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to put I don't know how many people you got in here, my money where my mouth is. If you go through the 3-day event and you just feel like, I didn't really learn anything, it wasn't for me, I personally will mail your $197 back. I will give you your money back. You can even lie to me, folks. You can go through the 3-day and be like, yeah, it sucked. And I'll send you your $197 back. I'm not going to ask you why. I am going to delete you out of the database. So don't have me start your banking policy after you do that. But I know how good it is. And it's not just me teaching you. It's going to be me and all these people. And I don't have time to get into it. So go to that link and you can see all the people you're going to learn from.
Is there an age limit? Can you be too old to do this?
No. I wish Claire was on. Claire came from one of your events. Claire is 84 years old.
84.
I don't mean to say this, and I wish Claire was here to kind of say this, but I've gotten to know Claire very well. She's 74 years old. And
84.
How much?
84, I thought.
No, she's
74? 74.
She is like literally like she is just like living a whole new life because the things she learned, she's making a ton more money right now. She's having a ton of fun and she's doing this, folks. Like
Lisa Drapluck said, we've already had a call. How can I get a follow-up?
You just email Shauna. That's the best way. You want to follow up, email Shauna. I almost just gave my cell phone out. That would have been a huge mistake. Woo, dodge the bullet. Just
500 people have been very happy.
Yeah. Shauna it's SHAWNA at chrisnaugle.com. And we'll put you on my calendar, especially if you've already had a call with us.
Yeah.
When is it? Next week? Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. It's all recorded. So don't try saying, oh, Chris, I can't make Friday, so it's not going to work. I'll send you the recording and you can watch it 100 times if you want. So it's virtual.
And you get all the information if you go to drvmoney.com. And again, Puff Heavenly, and I think we should do this. What's the minimum needed to get started? It's 10 times your age.
Yeah.
You can do it annually or per month.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're 50 years old, that's times 10, that's $500 a month or $6,000 a year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone said, yeah, but if DRV is dumping in a bunch of money at the beginning, what if you have no money to dump in at the beginning? How does that change your numbers?
Just don't dump it in. I mean, you won't, your returns.
They don't have money to dump in.
That's fine. Your numbers might not be as high because it's just simple mathematics, folks. You know, making money is more money. But if you don't have the dump in, the numbers are still they're still incredible. You know, they might be 100% like his, but they're going to be really high. I don't know because I'd have to run your numbers.
We have we actually have a case study coming up with somebody who has works up to about $460 a month. So it's a lower.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, she's using it for a Disney vacation. That's what she's going to use
every year.
For the first
she's
shot.
going to take her daughter on a Disney vacation with it. That's what she did. She set it up for $460 a month. Oh, I totally.
She has no debt. You know, she pays rent, no debt, car's paid off. You know, so she's like, yeah, this is what I'm going to use it for. Because as you pay into these over the years, the more you'll get more out than you put in eventually. And so that's what pay back your loans.
That's a good question. Pam Freeman says, how did you get the $5 million payout on death? Which I guess the follow-up question would be, so if someone has $6,000 to put in, what would their death benefit be?
Probably. Yeah. It depends on your age. It depends on your age, maybe a couple $100,000. He has 5.6 because how we build these, right? When you buy life insurance, you start and you say, okay, I want X amount of death benefit and it's going to cost me this. We flip it upside down. We say, how much do you want to have the ability to deposit into this insurance company? Doc says 100,000 and I want to put 162 in all front. Great. Then what we do is we go to the insurance company and we say, hey, Mr. Insurance Company, what's the least amount of death benefit we can put on for this client to be able to put this much money in? It's backwards. And the insurance company says 5.6 million is the bare minimum that he can put in order for the IRS to allow him to put that much in. That's how the 5.6 happens.
Wow. So someone who has $6,500 a month to start with, they could have a death benefit of roughly, and we won't hold you the numbers, but roughly 200,000.
Yeah, give or take. It's just going to change by age. The cash doesn't change for age, but the death benefit does. Here's one.
Yeah, here's an example for you. So this is an actual policy we had issued. She's 32. She has a policy that was issued for $5,760 a month. So about $5,760 a year. So about $460 a month. Her death benefit is $259,000. Her first year cash value is $3362. So that's how much she gets back out of that first year. So she puts $5,800 in, she gets $3,400 out. It takes a little while for this engine to get going.
Well, that's a different plan design too. There's like two different designs. Ducks is better for short-term growth. Okay. This plan's better for long-term.
Yep. And then so as it goes forward though, so we start to get into, I'm trying to see if I have her map up here.
Just don't get too in the weeds with numbers.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually you're going to get to a point where you're getting more out.
So a couple of questions real quick. And I hate how this is phrased. Now, Biscuit Stopper, I don't know who you are, so don't take this wrong. I guess people on Social Security can't do this, huh? It's like the Will Rogers saying, what you don't know. So what if you're on the fixed income Social Security? Can you do this?
I can actually speak to that because my brother is on disability. So I can kind of speak to a little bit on this. On disability, in most cases, I am not a CPA, I'm not a Social Security worker, but most cases you can earn up to $1,000 extra beyond your Social Security per month in work if you do it.
Right.
So if you wanted to, you can use that as well. You might not be able to use it, but you can do a little extra and get something out of this too. So just because you're on Social Security doesn't mean you can't do it. That's not going to preclude you. If you've got something like a side hustle, it doesn't have to be much, like $500 a month.
My point was that he made an assumption.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I hate that mindset.
Yeah, I do too.
And here's another assumption, James Dean. Many can't pay for food or rent. Investing would be difficult.
That's right. This isn't investing though.
This isn't investing. This is you're going to be paying
investing
money.
Involves risk. Like, this is what Dave Ramsey says. He said, whole life is the worst investment you can put your money into. I'm like, Dave, thank God you got it right, buddy. Because this isn't an investment. It's guaranteed, buddy. So you're right. This isn't investing, folks. If you can't pay for food or rent, then you definitely don't want to be investing your money and taking risk. And I'm not saying this works for you. This doesn't work for everybody. This isn't the magic silver bullet.
Let's say somebody has, they can dump in, like they can start something with $10,000. Can they give themselves a loan and then use that? I assume yes, to pay their rent, pay their bills. It's not as good as capturing things like that.
And I did a YouTube video on this. Okay, does it work? Absolutely, it does. Okay, is it what I recommend? Is it what I teach? Is it what I condone? No, it's not, because it's not the most effective way to use this. And in that case, if you're struggling to pay for food, you're struggling to pay for rent and all these things, like, this isn't for you. I hate to say that, but like, if you're not saving any money today, how can you start this if you're not?
This is another mindset issue. I hate this. God, get off my page. Not everyone has extra money lying around.
You're right. So I get it.
Attention.
Everybody does have extra money lying around, and it's unfortunate. We're in hard times, folks. We're in hard times. But the people
charity gets it. It's a total money makeover. It's a total money makeover.
Oh, finally, we get some positive enforcement. I want to be clear about something. The people that are bitching and moaning that they don't have money, what are you doing all day? Are you out there trying to make more money? I don't mean to be an asshole, but like, seriously, like, go out and do something to make it.
Some lawns, baby, like my daddy did.
There is so many people looking for things. Like, I mean, Facebook Marketplace, there's opportunities all around you, and you don't need money. You just have to have time. I don't have time because I'm too busy. But if I had time, I'd go out and I'd find ways to make money. Okay.
There's a couple of questions we have. Like, what if someone has a bad insurance policy set up, or somebody's grandfather set up something, or annuity, or other? Can you move that money over?
Yeah, they can. It's called a 1035 exchange. So if you had an old policy and you didn't like it and it wasn't doing anything, you can 1035 exchange that money into one of these plans. There's no cost, no taxes. But I will say we do this very rarely, because usually old life insurance policies are actually pretty good. Even though it doesn't work like this, they're still pretty good. 70 hours a week, pay down debt and save money. I love that. So that's a hustler right there. That's somebody that's going out there doing the extra things that's needed to be done. And I can
challenge people, baby.
I love it. And I didn't mean you were laying around. I'm not trying to be negative here, but like, if I get negative, I'm going to be negative. If I get positive, I'm going to be positive. Like, that's it. It's contagious, folks. Your mindset, your mental attitude changes everything. If you come out with positive questions, you get positive answers. If you come in with negative attitude, you get negative back. That's just the way it works.
Maria Razzo says, Chris changed my life. It didn't cost anything either. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Marie. You're welcome.
Eileen, who's a friend, says, however, got 30,000 lying around in my checkbook.
Okay. So this would be a conversation you should probably have. You should probably go to the 3-day event and learn all the things.
Actually, this is a good one. I piss away a lot of money. I could actually.
Jewel, don't we all? Don't we all? Yeah. You know what, Jewel? We can still show you how to piss away money, but we can show you how to make interest on. How about
this one? Abigail has a good question. Can I use my home equity on my rental homes?
100%, and you should be. Yep. And we hit that so heavily in the 3-day. Your head will be spinning about it.
I love it. All right, here we go. Death. I think you just answered this. I have term life insurance. Can I transfer to this?
Death. I hate saying that, but you wouldn't transfer term insurance. I have a lot of term insurance. So, term insurance is very different than this. Remember, this isn't life insurance. It is, but we're using it for a different method in a different use. Term insurance is pure insurance. And I think you should have term insurance. I really do. Great coverage.
Awesome. And then we have a lot of Canadians watching too. So can you help them if they're in Canada?
100% yes. Yeah. It's a little different in Canada. You have different companies, but we have partners in Canada that can help you, go through this whole thing. It works just like this in Canada, folks. Just the name on the door is different, right? It's not Mass Mutual. It's trying to think of some of them. It's Manulife is one of them, and there's another one I can't think of it. But yes, we can help you in Canada.
100%. Oh, here's Kim Watts. We cashed out a 401k because we went through our emergency money. Can we invest this?
Yeah, for sure. Why can't you?
Yeah, that'd be
And
great.
again, you can invest it. You can set up banking policies, which is not investing. There's a lot of things you can do. We
Now,
definitely.
what other countries can you do it in other than Canada and America? Is that the only two?
Those are the only two that I specialize in. I think you can do it in certain parts of Europe, but I haven't dove deep enough. You cannot do it in Australia. You cannot.
We
do
looked
it
in Australia. I have a large Australia.
You cannot.
You can't do it in Philippines.
Socialistic countries, you cannot do this.
Stacy, she's Canadian. She's like Manulife.
Yeah, Manulife finally have an aha.
She's Canadian.
The other one I think is like Equilife or Equa something. It's Equa something, but Canada's companies are just like the U.S. companies. You guys are like two peas in a pod, and you guys know I'm in Buffalo, so like I am Canadian. Just so you know, I have a U.S. passport.
I wanna. We talked about this privatized banking actually in the summer. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We're just now starting to set up my policy. So we promised the viewers that we would kind of have a regular schedule where we would update them on what I'm doing, how we set this up, kind of help them through it. I think what we should probably do is get sort of like a quick 2-minute teaser to really explain that flywheel. And then we can then say, okay, here's where Dr. V is in the cycle of, he just dumped in, we're waiting. And someone asked, like, how quickly can you turn the money around?
Immediately in the first 30 days. Yeah. On every plan we build.
Yeah. So basically the next day, if I dump in my 162, I can have access to 200 the next day. Pretty much.
I'm going to be careful saying that publicly because I don't know if your bank's going to clear your funds. It's out of our hands. If your bank sends the money to the insurance company, your bank might have a hold on it. So
the one that's cleared.
Yes.
I have immediate access to it.
That is correct.
And then I call someone on your team and say, hey, I'm ready. Can you loan me $200,000?
Well, so I set up a debt map for you. So once you have this tool, that's great. But you got to know how to use it. So that's what we do is set up a debt map for you that shows you this is what you have to do. And 3 times a year, you're going to get a call from somebody on our team who's going to update that because, hey, things change,
Yeah. So I've got 2 things. And like I said, I totally want to be transparent to help my following. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. I have about $80,000 in school, student led, might be a little higher, a little lower. I have Alexis that I'm upside down on. Mm-hmm. And I'm upside down probably by about $15,000. So I don't want another car. I'd rather just sell it or trade it back in and then loan myself a $15,000 short.
Yeah.
That's really smart to do. I mean, it's not the most ideal, but you're upside down in the car.
I'm upside down, and I don't need another car because I've got Mr. Jones, which is a 2007 Sequoia that's totally paid off. That I paid $8,000 for in cash, so I'd rather drive it.
Gotta love that sort of return. Yeah, so what we do is we'd start off with the least to greatest to just pay the whole things off. But with yours, we just pay it off in 1 year, and then we'd try to find something else we can do that with that money for.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty good, quite honestly. I mean, that's about it. Like
the whole idea. I mean, people like you had the aha moment, and everybody else seemed to. It's really, that's all we're doing, folks. And like I said on the screen, we're just taking back the money you're giving away to everybody else.
And then I said, Chris and I were talking about this other real estate investing vehicle. So I'll take them through the whole real estate investing vehicle thing too. And that will take, if anyone wants to join me on that, that's going to take $125,000 minimum to jump in on that. But you're owning houses in your own name. So I'm buying 3 houses for $125,000. So that's the big bulk of this first year. Yeah.
There's so many ways you can use this, so many things this works for. And, like we just scratched the surface tonight. I just wanted to show your plan. Signing up.
What's your real name so we'll know?
I kind of want biscuits now.
I do too. I'm going to go home and tell Larissa, hey, Larissa, can you make some biscuits?
I want biscuits.
So just to be clear, in the past, because I've, in 2008, I had $4 million worth of real estate, which we know what happened in 2008. And that was doing it very traditionally where I went to a bank, borrowed money, paid the bank my loans. This, I'm going to be taking a loan out of my banking policy and then giving it to this other system where I'm my own bank to my own houses. Mm-hmm. Pretty crazy.
You're just taking it from your bank here, and you're going to move it over into Bank of America, I would assume, your segregated account.
and then you're going to take it over and you're going to put it into this portfolio of houses.
That's right.
Portfolio of houses are going to kick you off money that you're going to make interest, and you're going to take that interest and you're just going to, let's change color here. You're going to repeat that and you're just going to put it back here. And then you're going to repeat the damn process again.
That's right.
More houses.
Oh, but Chris, on top of that, the rental houses on average, they make about $600 a month each. So it'll be 18 for my first 3, it'll be $1,800. So I'll take that 1,800 and I'll pay it back into my policy.
Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, and a lot of people are like, well, why would I pay that $1,800 back into my policy? Well, you only have one other alternative. Where's the $1,800 going to go?
In the bank, in the way.
Yeah, and how much are they paying you? Less than 1%.
Nothing.
Right? 1% or less. So why would you keep it there? Why not take the extra step, move it over here where you get 4% out?
And then the aha moment was really that I could take that 1,800 or let it build back up to 50,000 or whatever, and then loan it back out to myself and buy another house.
Over and over and over again. And the biggest problem people have when they get into this, and there was a message going on right before we started about how many policies people had. And there's just one guy, I didn't know he has 10 policies. And, you know, the hardest part when you get to that level, even 7, is moving that money fast enough, because it comes in, you know, every time you got to take money out, you got new money coming back in, you got to keep moving it. And you do sometimes run out of places to move it.
Let me answer Julie Cox's question, because she's a long-term follower. What, Dr. V, what if you get shitty tenants, which is what everybody hates in real estate? I won't have any tenants. I'm actually selling the houses to buyers, and I'm actually their bank.
Yeah, it's a different, great strategy. And what you just said, I mean, we're talking about being the bank, and you're literally being the bank twice.
I'm being the bank twice. Look at you, Chris. Those are the little short nuggets I got to get you to faster.
Love it.
Be the bank twice. That's exactly the idea.
What you're doing.
I love that. I mean,
because I agree with her. Like, I do own real estate. I had 91 units at the end of, or at sometime last year, and I've been selling them off. I'm down to like 30, but believe me, I got tenant problems, folks, with this eviction moratorium. I got tenant problems, and I hate it. So I'd like to be the bank on all my real estate deals, but just work in progress. Yeah.
And to be clear, like, I actually own those houses. I bought those houses and then I sell them. I finance them to the buyer. So I don't have any tenants in those 3 houses. I don't have any tenants. They are all own it. And I don't manage any of it. This other company manages it all for me for like $50 a month per house.
And a lot of people don't know too, like at the 3-day, we got this guy, Jack, who teaches people how to do exactly what you're doing there with the houses, but how to do that with land and how to be the bank. So you find land, you sell it to the neighbors, and then you hold the financing on it. And then you actually end up just collecting checks by being the bank on raw land. So there's all sorts of cool ways you can do it.
And actually, Princess Ferguson, man, sounds like great passive income. That's exactly what I'm doing. He totally sees it, bro. Like, I'm taking this money that's just sitting in my bank doing nothing right now, and I'm going to turn it into real estate. I'm turning into houses, being the bank twice. Give it up for Dr. V, baby.
Dude, all you're doing is, like, if I put the right
give it up for Dr. V.
You're sending your little marching dollars out there working for you, man. They're sitting being lazy right now. You're sending them out there, and those little marching dollars, there's little $600, checks that are going to come in for each one of these. And all it is how many more of these little marching men can we make go work?
Yep. That's right. And again, like, I don't see, I'm gonna stop this guy real quick. That's dangerous. He doesn't, like, what the fuck are you? You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know this company. You don't know what I'm setting up. You know what I mean?
I don't know what he means is dangerous. What's dangerous?
Well, this banking system's dangerous. My real estate plan is dangerous.
It's not for you then.
It's not for you.
Keep doing what you're doing, because it's obviously working quite well for you.
You want to win the race? You got to go with thoroughbreds, man. You got to do what the rich do. So, and I've already done it. I've tried to do it myself. I was flipping houses in residency, just trying to figure out this real estate shit, and lost my shit. This time I'm letting the pros handle all that stuff and being my own bank twice. Much easier, much less headaches.
The ultimate in real estate and flipping and all of that is being the bank.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this real estate thing is each house on average costs about $40,000, and then each mortgage payment is about $600. And then so I figured out that once I get to 67 houses, that equals $40,000. So I can use that 40,000 to buy a new house every stinking month.
Wow.
Every stinking month.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And you're not doing the work on it.
And I'm not doing any of the work. Or it's $50 a month per house for them to manage it all. So,
smart model, man. That guy who came up with that model.
I'm excited to introduce you to him. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And as always, I'm going, like what we said, people are like, show us how to do that. Like, we're going to be totally transparent, like showing people how to do this.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, I'd love to do, Doc, on one of these shows is maybe play, you know, almost like a golden ticket event where your members get to watch a case study of a real client showing and talking about how they do it. You know, we could do a case study on you, but we've got other case studies, you know, with smaller policies showing, hey, here's how we do it. Yeah. And maybe we just do a premiere showing on your group instead of mine. And that'll be the first time anybody gets to see it.
That's awesome. All right. My lady is calling me for dinner. We have gone way over. I told her we'd be done at 8:30 and we are way over. I'm sure you're getting the same.
Oh, yes.
Great. I'm glad we got to the point. I think that was really awesome. Everybody, this will be up on my YouTube channel. You can find it. I like this. I might edit this one down.
It's a good one, man.
Put it up on my YouTube channel.
It's a good one.
Yeah, and we'll be back. You want to do it again next week?
Let's do it.
Show people where I'm at with my banking policy.
Yeah, I think that'd be
we'll set something up, guys. So stay tuned. Thanks, everybody. Say bye, Chris.
Bye.
See you guys later. Thanks.